on, everybody? It's another Al Gattulo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Hope you are doing well. Hope you had a good St. Patrick's Day. You didn't get too crazy. I never really, obviously I'm not Irish, so I don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day, although they say St. Patrick was Italian. Whatever, I'm not going to get into that whole thing. That's not for me. However, we did have a great time at the Autodidact third anniversary celebration over the weekend. A lot of fun. The Ronnies do a tremendous job with their beer and love supporting those guys. And, you know, that's really the message moving forward here. You have to support your local breweries. Support any local business. That's the key, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't support your local businesses, they're not going to survive. And that, whether it's beer, restaurants, a person who makes knickknacks that you see in a storefront, and you say, wow, you know, I really like to go in there and get one of those things, and I'll do it next time. They may not be there the next time. So do yourself a favor. That purchase could mean the difference between those people staying in business and getting out of the business. Plain and simple. Our good friends at Jersey Girl Brewing, Chuck and the team, are celebrating 10 years of brewing in Mount Olive, New Jersey. So their 10th anniversary weekend is taking place on Friday the 17th, Saturday the 18th, and Sunday the 19th of April. They're going to have a new beer release, live music, limited merchandise, great energy all week long. So on Friday the 17th, they're going to have the Black Forest food truck, a well-established German continental restaurant bringing their menu right to Jersey Girl Brewing, seasonal favorites, extensive specialties, and, of course, German standards. They're going to have Eric Lear joining Jersey Girl Brewing for a night of live acoustic favorites. That begins at 6:30 p.m. On Saturday the 18th, the Captains of Leisure, they'll be performing at 6 p.m., offering the most diverse selection of funk, rock, soul, and blues around. It is a party all night long. There will be no cover for that. And on Sunday the 19th, smoke, sip, and celebrate. Sips and cigars at Jersey Girl Brewing. Unwind and cap off our anniversary weekend with sips and cigars in the beer garden. Bring your favorite cigars, grab a pint, relax with friends as we reminisce about the past decade of brewing right here in Mount Olive, New Jersey. It's the perfect Sunday to slow down, share stories, and raise a glass to 10 incredible years. Cheers, as they say. Now, we're going to have Chuck on the program the week before in April to discuss all of this. I'll be interviewing him from the brewery. So can't wait to chat with Chuck. Got a chance to chat with him last week. My dear friend Allison, who runs a bunch of food truck events across New Jersey, along with Big Brew and Beer, Bacon, Barbecue, and all this other stuff. She celebrated her 60th birthday. What a great time we had up in Lake Hopatcong. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Allison, for inviting me. And the everybody had to wear a T-shirt that had something inappropriate, a saying on it. Boy, the people did not disappoint. Much of the stuff I can't even talk about here. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. I don't normally talk about macro beer, but I think this is worth talking about. Budweiser has always been synonymous with baseball, right? So as the brand, Budweiser celebrates 150 years this year, the same year that the United States is marking its 250th birthday. Budweiser tapping into its long-standing relationship with Major League Baseball with a season full of fan-focused promotions and throwback touches. So it's the new Bud 150 Club. It's a limited membership program designed to bring diehard fans closer to the game. As part of the recently announced program, Budweiser plans to award 150 fans with special prepaid MasterCards loaded with beer money to spend on Budweiser during the season. Club members will also have chances to score tickets to some of baseball's biggest events, including the All-Star Game, the Field of Dreams Game, and the World Series. To get in on the action, baseball and beer fans need to tap into Budweiser's social media channels for a chance to land one of the coveted cards. They are also releasing special limited edition Major League Baseball team cans. They're hitting the shelves again this year ahead of opening day. It's a retro look pairing Budweiser's commemorative 150th anniversary insignia with each team's word mark on the front. The back of the cans features vintage-style illustrations that nod to classic team logos, colors, and uniforms. They're tapping some legendary names to help celebrate as well. Former stars like Ken Griffey Jr., Randy Johnson, Mike Piazza will be partnering with Budweiser on special content and appearances tied to various Major League Baseball events throughout the year. This follows Budweiser's recent extension of its partnership with Major League Baseball. It now runs through 2032. So they're doing a whole bunch of different things here, and that's cool. I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of Budweiser, the macro beers, but this is definitely something worth chatting about. So kudos to Budweiser and kudos to Major League Baseball. The Vail Craft Beer Classic, the 10th annual, returning to Vail Village this June, the 12th and 13th. Colorado's celebrated craft beer festival. It showcases 100-plus beers, spirits, seltzers from more than 30 beverage producers against the stunning backdrop of the Rocky Mountains. Now, the tickets are on sale right now for early access and general admission. Let's see, what is that website? Let's find out what that website is so I can get you the proper information. Here we go. It is VailCraftBeerClassic.com. You can click there and purchase tickets for this event. As Olivia Berg says, what makes 10 years so special isn't just the beer, it's the people, the breweries and producers who keep coming back, the fans who make it a summer tradition, and the incredible backdrop of Vail makes every pour taste even better. She is the event director. Whether you're returning for your 10th year or discovering the festival for the first time, 2026 promises to be the most memorable edition yet. They are going to have 2 days, 2 chances to raise a glass. Tasting sessions are June 12th and 13th. General admission gets you in. It gets you a welcome beer, collaboration between Something Brewery and Danico Brewing, and a 3.5-hour window to explore live music, keg bowling, and stein hoisting, curated shopping, food trucks, and more than 100 beverages. Early access gets you in early, shorter lines, more face time with brewers, and a full-size Belgian tasting glass to mark the occasion. So you get a nice size glass there to drink the beer. So that's cool. 10 years of the Vail Beer Classic. And again, you get to look at the Rocky Mountains, which is pretty cool. Good stuff. And it's happening in June. Come on, the weather's not that bad in Colorado in June. And then finally, one of my favorite artists to go and see in concert, Sammy Hagar, and his Beach Bar Rum have expanded. They have new distribution partnerships across New York City, northern New Jersey, and Wisconsin. I'm excited about that. The expansion builds on the brand's existing availability, which is California, Illinois, Nevada, Tennessee, Texas, and Canada, and reflects a continued momentum for Sammy's Beach Bar Rum. As Sammy Hagar himself says, Sammy's Beach Bar Rum is all about bringing the spirit of the beach wherever you are. We're excited to grow our presence in these markets and give more people the chance to enjoy great rum, whether discovering it for the first time or are a longtime fan. They used to be in New York and New Jersey, and then the distributorship fell through, and now they are up and running again. In northern New Jersey, Kohler Distributing now offers the complete Sammy's Beach Bar Rum lineup across Bergen, Essex, Hudson, Morris, Passaic, Sussex, and Union counties. Hello, Paragon Tap and Table. Expanding the brand's presence throughout one of the country's most competitive spirits markets. In New York City, New York Wine and Spirits, Manhattan Beer has added the full portfolio, distributing across 14 counties, covering all 5 boroughs and increasing availability for both on- and off-premise accounts across the metro area. And in Wisconsin, Capital Husting Distributors now represents Sammy's Beach Bar Rum. They will be available in 42 festival food locations across the state, providing immediate large-scale retail visibility and consumer access. Rick Springfield, who is a partner in this, said, "We're hitting New York, New Jersey, and the Midwest, where I have a lot of family who can now get Beach Bar Rum and stay warm and toasty when it's cold outside and sip fun party drinks when summer comes like we do in Cali. This rum is amazing, and I can't wait for the uninitiative to try it." Hagar, of course, will be taking Beach Bar Rum on the road this summer. The highly acclaimed, top-grossing Best of All Worlds tour, making a stop at the PNC Bank Arts Center this June. They will be, let's see here, they're going to be making stops, obviously, in New Jersey. That'll be the last stop on the tour. Missouri, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Maryland, and Massachusetts. Tickets and more information available at redrocker.com. I've had the original Beach Bar Rum. I don't think I've had the cola rum. Sammy'sBeachBarRum.com for more information on all of it. I can't wait. My friend's bar will be opening soon, Poor Choices. So when he opens that up, well, I'll have to gift him a bottle of Sammy Hagar's Beach Bar Rum, maybe the cola version if I can find it, and have some rum drinks, maybe a mojito, some good stuff there. Coming up next, more news and notes from around the beer world on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. Welcome back to the Al Gattulo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. And unfortunately, no guest this week. It's going to be, looks like it's going to be an all-news edition. Danny Gleason was supposed to join us. She's joining us next week now. I've been reaching out to a few people and unfortunately not able to secure anything. So it's just me for the whole hour. So I hope you enjoy it. There you go. And, of course, as usual in my studio, I'm having problems again. My one headphone is out. Something is wrong with the looks like the headphone amp. I think it's too hot. I don't know. We have to get these things fixed. I'm getting tired of these things happening here in this studio. It seems to be breaking down left and right. Anyway, let's dive in to some beer news because there's certainly a lot of it, and we need to discuss it. So AleSmith releasing another edition of their Speedway Stout, the Salted Caramel Edition. It's a 12% ABV coffee imperial stout, bold espresso flavors, roasty aromas, rich caramel notes, and a wispy, salty sweetness. It's smooth. It's full-bodied. Flavors of decadent caramel coffee, layered and warming in every sip. The Speedway Stout is fantastic, the base, but the variants that AleSmith continues to put out are just absolutely amazing. And if you have the opportunity to get it in any of its variants or in the original, certainly get it. And it's definitely one of those beers, you crack it, you pour it, let it sit for a little bit, let it warm up, let it come up to a little bit, just around, you want it around 50 degrees, maybe a little bit warmer, and just enjoy every sip. A nice cigar to go with it, too, would be perfect. Ratio Beer Works has put out a new beer, and it's called King of Carrot Flowers Saison. It's just under 6% ABV. It's carrot juice and elderflower infused Saison. A luminous semi-cloudy ripe cantaloupe orange hue. This is kind of cool. Carrot juice. Interesting. Carrot juice and elderflower. Weird stuff. But if you're a person who's into Saisons, I am sure that you're going to love it. Lawson's Finest Liquids, releasing an easygoing departure from the remarkable IPAs that helped build their considerable reputation. This is Lawson's Finest Lager. It's a 5% ABV refresher, light in body yet big on flavor. I'm wondering if this is going to be served at AC Beer Fest. Sounds to me like it might be. So we'll see what happens there. Pure Project Brewing in Vista, celebrating their 5th anniversary, March 27th through the 29th, so that is next week or this coming week. An alien-themed party. It's sure to be out of this world. They're going to have a special edition Vista anniversary glasses plus UFO-themed stickers. Each glass will be available for $18. It includes the glass and a fill of any of their non-barrel-aged beer under 10% ABV. That's pretty good. They'll also have anniversary weekend food vendors as well. This is the Pure Project Brewing in Vista, celebrating their 5th anniversary, again, March the 27th through the 29th. Staying in California and in San Diego, Tome Arthur from the Lost Abbey launching a 4th tasting room. This is courtesy of San Diego Beer News. This time they're going to be in Miramar. It's going to be a nano brewery. It was a nano brewery, then it was a beer bar. Now they're updating it with a new bar top, some elements from the Catholic vibe of all the Lost Abbey locations. And if you haven't been to the Lost Abbey, I encourage you to go when you're in San Diego. The opening should take place right around the same time as the brewery's 20-year anniversary celebration. That party is going to take place at the company's Vista location on May 9th from noon to 5 p.m. It will revolve around the release of Duck Duck Creek. It's a Belgian-style sour ale infused with cherries. It's based on the same barrel-aged base beer as the Lost Abbey's incredibly popular American Goosey, the Duck Duck Goza. It's a public pre-sale of the beer takes place online at lostAbbeybrewing.com starting at 10 a.m. On Thursday, April the 2nd. I love the Lost Abbey. I love the beers that they do. They used to be out here in New Jersey. They're not anymore. I don't think they distro to Jersey anymore. And I have to tell you, I've been in San Diego many times. The first one that I visited was the Confessional over in Cardiff by the Sea, which was awesome. It's one of those. It's in a strip mall. Very tiny. If you blink, you'd miss it. But I saw the most beautiful sunset overlooking the beach. You can see out to the beach from where the brewery sits, and had a great time there, and then ended up going to a tattoo parlor next door, getting my first tattoo. Wow, God, almost 10 years ago. So that was great, and then I went to their other location in the middle of San Diego proper, and I forget the name of it, but it's inside a converted church, and the pews are still there. It's a whole church It's the Lost Abbey is amazing, and they make some fantastic beers that you wouldn't like. Yeah, they do a lot of sour stuff, and they do a lot of different crazy type of beers, but even their base beers, their straight IPAs and pilsners and lagers and stuff, unbelievable. It is, the Lost Abbey is absolutely an institution. You should absolutely visit one of their locations when you're out there. And now you have a fourth one to visit, which is really cool. That should be opening in just a couple of months. That's fantastic. Tilray announced back on Monday that they have entered into an asset purchase agreement to acquire certain strategic assets of BrewDog in the United States. Now, obviously, they took over the European portion of it, but now they've finalized the deal for the United States stuff, including its brewery, pub, and hotel in Columbus, Ohio, as well as the pubs in New Albany, Ohio, Cleveland, New Albany, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, and Las Vegas, Nevada, plus a franchise location in Denver and the space at the Columbus airport, which means that no closures on the U.S. side. I know one in Atlanta had closed, but that was before the sale. So that one, I guess, is going to stay closed. But now Tilray has taken over those assets as well. It'll be interesting to see what Tilray does to boost this business, to get it up on par with other places. BrewDog has been going down for a long time. Let's face it, the equity for Punks thing, everybody bought in thinking that they were going to, make money off of this. And it turns out once they sold the European portion of it, no money is being made. So it's interesting to see what will happen moving forward. I hope that Tilray brings this brand back to a point where people are going to appreciate BrewDog again, because their beers were very mediocre, I have to say. I really didn't go out of my way for a BrewDog beer. I've had interviews with some of the people that work in the United States company. Nice people, really trying to push the product. Product is just okay. When your product is just okay, when there's over 9,000 breweries in the United States, you're not going to get very far. When there are other options for people, you're simply not going to get very far. Plain and simple. Our friends at River Horse and DuClaw, turning 30 this year. They are celebrating with a big 30th anniversary party. It's going to take place on April 25th, which is a Saturday. It's from 2 to 6 p.m., and they're going to have a community market as well. And if you want to be a part of it, email info@riverhorse.com with the subject line 30th anniversary to apply. Please include your vendor business name, socials, and or website. It's a $20 vendor fee. Proceeds will be donated to local nonprofits, the Mercer Street Friends, Easel, Anchor House, and One Simple Wish. They're going to have games, fun, 3 special beer releases to raise a glass to 30 years. They're really excited about this. So, again, this is taking place April 25th from 2 to 6 p.m., right at River Horse's location down in South Jersey. So kudos to them. That is pretty cool. Dogfish Head. Now listen to this. So we're going to have Sam Calagione on the program the first week of April. And we're going to be talking about Record Store Day. We're also going to be talking about a big thing they're going to be doing, I believe, at the Brooklyn Bowl, which I'll be a part of. It's their release, their new release of their lager that they did with the Grateful Dead. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sam's going to be on the show to talk about that. But what they're doing here on April the 11th, it is the annual weekend of Compelling Ales and Spirits Festival. This will be at the brewery in Milton, Delaware. The guided tasting event, it's on Saturday, April 11th, is set to run from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. It'll include samples of 12 beverages paired with food items, along with a behind-the-scenes look at the brewery. Organizers say the festival is going to also feature the debut of a limited edition beer collaboration with Hop Butcher for the World. It's the beer is called Crispy Slice. It's described as a West Coast Pilsner brewed with Pilsner malt, malted wheat, and several hop varieties. General admission tickets are $75. That includes 12 beer, spirits, and cocktail samples with 12 food pairings, plus a commemorative glass, tasting badge, and a branded tray. Pretty cool. The designated driver, if you want to do that, $45, and you should. drink responsibly. Includes 12 food samples, soft drinks, and water, plus a commemorative glass, tasting badge, and a branded tray. And then if you want to get a T-shirt, if you want to add that on, it's $26.50. You get a T-shirt available with the ticket purchase while supplies last. The beer is also going to be available for purchase beginning April 10th, the day before, which is a Friday, in 4-packs, 12-ounce cans from the Milton Brewery while supplies last. So, again, that is Weekend of Compelling Ales and Spirits Festival. That's Saturday, April 11th, and it'll be at the Milton, Delaware location of Dogfish at 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Very cool. When we come back after a short break, we're going to have more news and notes from around the beer world, including our good friend Gary Monterosso and his little beer segment that he does on the show. I called it Things You May Have Missed. This will be another educational one. I believe it is pasteurized versus unpasteurized beer. That's next on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. Back to the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. No guests on the program tonight. We got lots of things to catch up on, and some bad news, good news. It's a plethora of a whole bunch of different things. I'm glad my headphone amp was replaced. It turns out not only was the amp not working properly, but my left ear bud went out, so I had to get I keep a spare headphones. I use wired earbud headphones in the studio. I don't like headphones over my head when I'm in the studio. When I'm home, it's different. I know it's a little too inside baseball, folks, but I have a pair of Sonys that I've had forever. I've probably had them for 25 years, and they're awesome. And I had just replaced the cushions on them a couple of years ago. The cushions had faded, and there's a company that you can replace them. It was like $15. Very easy to do. And so I was able to continue using those headphones, which I'm happy about. But I only use those at home when I'm recording stuff or doing podcasts or things like that. When I'm in the studio, I have earbuds because it's easier for me if I have to listen to somebody with my left ear while doing the show in my right ear. It just makes things a little bit easier. That's all. And there's good Sony earbuds that are wired that you can plug in that are really good and have decent sound. I mean, when you're on AM radio, it really doesn't matter. But for me, I enjoy the earbuds. All right, and now you've heard enough, and so we move on, as it were. So let's see here. Let's dive in. We're going to dive into a bunch of local stuff here. Proletariat is a beer bar on the Lower East Side. If you haven't been, I don't recall if I've been there. I think I have, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, they are closing. Apparently, on the 11th of April is going to be their last day on East 7th Street. 3 of the bartenders, though, are trying to let this amazing community that's been going on for 14 years continue. So they are working to acquire and keep Proletariat alive and thriving. They're unsure whether they'll be able to stay at their spot on East 7th or have to find a new spot, but they wanted to give everybody a heads up. The last day will be April 11th. They say they'll update on their Instagram page any changes or more set details. In the meantime, come crush all the beer with us over the next 5 weeks. Love you all. I've heard from people who have been to Proletariat and say it's unbelievably amazing. It's a tremendous place that you need to go, et cetera, et cetera. And I have not been there. I don't know if I will get there before they close, and I hope that they don't. I hope that these bartenders end up buying the place and keep it open. It would be really great to see that. Unfortunately, the way the business is now, it is very difficult for people to maintain a business. I mean, and I think part of it from New York is the fact that it's the rent. You're seeing a lot of places in New York move on because of the rent. They're raising rents. People have been in business for 10 years, and they just can't keep things going. It's a shame. You don't want to see that happen, but unfortunately, that's the nature of the business. It's just the nature of the business. What are you going to do? I hope they stay open, and I hope if you're on the east side, you get a chance to check them out before they possibly close on April the 11th. Now, speaking of which, a place that's closing, but there's a new place going in, and I forget the name of the home brew. I'm trying to home brewers beer supply. Let's see, Brooklyn. I'm just trying to see if I get. There it is. Okay, good. All right, I got it. Now I'm happy. So, Strong Rope Brewing announced earlier this week that after 10 unforgettable years, they are closing the doors of their Gowanus tap room at the end of the month. Our Red Hook tap room is here to stay. We're excited to keep pouring and gathering with you there. Our final day in Gowanus is Saturday, March 28th. We hope you'll join us for one last celebration in the space where it all began. Let's raise a glass to the memories, the beers, and the community that made these 10 years so meaningful. If you have favorite memories or photos from the Gowanus days, we'd love to see them. Please share them with us so we can celebrate this chapter together. Now, you would think that would be sad news, right? Because Strong Rope over in Gowanus, it's awesome. It's a great little spot where Single Cut is down the street. You have Wild East 2 blocks away. Threes Brewing is right up the road. It's a nice little enclave of breweries, right? But here's the thing. So Strong Rope is and they're doing great in Red Hook. That's why they're moving there. It's on the waterfront. I totally understand why they are closing this location, right? But they're closing, but somebody's moving in. Guess who's moving in? Forever Home Brewing. Now, they're New York City's only home brewing shop. They have all the ingredients and equipment you need to brew beer at home. They're in Crown Heights right now, but they're going to be moving to Gowanus, where there is already tanks space and all kinds of stuff there. So they're going to be moving in as of early April. Hopefully they will be up and running and brewing in a short period of time, and they will be open very soon. I met these guys at New York City Beer Week. I am excited to talk with them, and I'm also excited because I know their location. So if I need to go over to the brewery to interview them, which I probably will, I know exactly where I'm going. So that's always good. Always good things. So I'm excited. I'm sad that Strong Rope is leaving. I love their beers, but I'm happy that a brewery beer shop is taking over with Forever Home Brewing, which is pretty awesome. And you can find out more info on Forever Home Brewing at foreverhomebrewing.com. So kudos to them. Congrats. Ticket sales for the 27th Annual Michigan Brewers Guild Summer Beer Festival have already begun. Festival's being held Saturday, June 13th from 1 to 6 p.m. There's a limited number of VIP tickets for early entry at noon. Enthusiast members do not need to purchase a VIP ticket for early entry. Enthusiast members should purchase the regular ticket and show their membership card at the gate for early entry. They're going to have a maker's market, additional food trucks, a live wrestling show by International Big Time Wrestling, live music on the big stage, bands and artists to be announced. It'll all be here before you know it. Again, Saturday, June 13th from 1 to 6 p.m., the Michigan Brewers Guild Summer Beer Festival. Tickets are on sale now. Now, thanks to a new New York law from the New York State Liquor Authority, it took effect on Thursday, March the 5th. Your favorite neighborhood spots can now make a quick booze run to local liquor stores when supplies run low. We talked about this last year, so this cuts through red tape. It allows bars, restaurants, and other on-premise establishments to purchase limited quantities of wine or liquor each week from nearby off-premise retailers like local liquor and wine stores. So let's say your small bar runs out of Cabernet, runs out of Tito's vodka or whatever, but they have to wait for their regular supply. Well, now they don't have to do that. Bars, restaurants, and other on-premise establishments can purchase up to 6 bottles per week of wine or liquor from a liquor or wine store. Liquor stores are also capped at selling 6 bottles per week to each business. Both parties must keep receipts and records of every transaction for SLA inspection. A bottle includes any original sealed package, meaning a 12-pack of canned cocktails counts as one. So there you go. Change designed to ease a long-standing pain point for smaller establishments, many of which don't have the storage space or cash flow to stockpile large amounts of alcohol. And then finally here, yes, we're going to get to Gary Monteroso's bit in the next segment, in our final segment of the show. So Copperleaf Brewing in Pittsford in the Rochester area has closed its doors for good. Paul Leon, the executive director of the New York Brewers Association, they had their big conference this weekend up in Albany. I did not get a chance to go up there. We're hoping to get a report on that in the coming weeks as to what happened at the the conference. But as Leon said in this piece, he said the cost of goods is going up in breweries and in restaurants and all sorts of businesses right now. And so to keep up with that, breweries continually have to evolve. And just like any other business, some aren't able to do that for whatever reason. Leon noted that consumers are spending less on going out and are seeking more from breweries than just beer. It used to be when a brewery could just open up and serve beer, and you come in, you have a few beers and a bag of pretzels. But it's not that way anymore. I think this is his opinion. He thinks breweries need to become a third space. They have to offer food. They have to offer events. I don't disagree with Paul here. The food thing is one component some people don't want to do. I understand that. But events, having a band, a trivia night, whatever, those are things that draw people in. And I think when you're talking about places, especially in New York City, you can do that and be prosperous. Now, Evan Fleury, he's the head brewer at the Spotted Octopus in this story, mentioned that the impact of external factors on their business is why they're having issues. Tariffs from Europe very much so did increase the price of imported grain. The Ukraine war started, and grain prices went up because Ukraine grew a lot of grain. He's not wrong on that either. Prices are up. That's why you're seeing beer prices up. Totally get that. Leon, though, emphasized the importance of community support for local businesses. And he says, I think that's what's really important in the brewing industry and any local business. And I've mentioned this many times. These are folks that are local, and these are folks that are paying taxes in Rochester, and the money stays here. If you want them to stay, you've got to go out and visit. Despite the closures, Leon expects new breweries to continue opening in the area over the next year. Paul is 100% right. If you love a brewery, go and support them. Go in and buy a 4-pack of beer. Buy a gift card. Get a T-shirt. Have a beer or two. Do something to keep that business going. Don't say, I'll wait till next time, because when it's next time, they may not be there. So, yes, ingredients have gone up. Things have gone up. I totally understand that. However, you have to support your local business, no matter what it is. Beer, restaurant, a clothing store, whatever the case may be. If you don't support these people, they won't be around much longer. That's the bottom line. I do think breweries have to do events. I do think breweries, maybe they have to mix in food. It's different in New Jersey than New York. Other places can do food very easily. New Jersey, you can't. So all of these things are important, and they all add up to one thing. Your beer has to be great, but you have to do a few other things, too, to keep people in there. And don't get me started with kids in a brewery. We could do an hour on that. When we come back after a short break, we'll wrap up the program with a lot more news and Gary Monteroso's weekly education in beer on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. Final segment of the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. I'm dying to go to a concert. I really am. It's. I know it's only been a few weeks since I saw Joe Bonamassa, and he just absolutely crushed it in Red Bank. But I am just like, I'm itching. I have that itch that I want to see live music. And I will soon enough. I mean, I'll be down in Atlantic City to see the AC Beer Music Fest, which is going to be great. The following weekend, I think I might be over at Crossroads in Garwood. A couple of my radio buddies are playing. They're right up the road from me. How could I not go to the show and check them out? That should be a lot of fun. It's, it's those things. What can you do? If you've never experienced a live music show, I encourage you to do that. I've talked about it before. Music, when you listen to an album, is one thing. But when you see a band live for the first time, 15th time, whatever it is, there's just something that happens. I know what it is. I look over the crowd and I see everybody getting into it, and I start getting into it, and I get little goosebumps, and the hair stands up on my arms. You just feel it. And then when they play your favorite song, and you're just rocking out, and the band does it justice, and they just absolutely crush it. It's a feeling that's indescribable. It really is. I don't even know what I would compare it to. Eating your favorite food? Maybe? Not even that. It's because it's a different trigger. It's trust me, going to see a band live is infinitely better for me than just listening to the record. By the way, Rush, releasing a couple years late the 40th anniversary of Grace Under Pressure. Tremendous. Remastered. They have the entire live concert from 1984 up in Toronto on it. It's fantastic. I've listened to it probably 3 times already. It's tremendous. Anyway, let's dive in to some beer news for the final segment of the program. So Athletic Brewing has struck a multi-year partnership with the San Francisco Giants. So they are now an official partner of the Giants. The partnership starts opening night this coming week on March 25th with the New York Yankees at Oracle Park and live on Netflix. 19.2-ounce singles of Run Wild IPA and Upside Dawn Golden will be served throughout the stadium. Athletic will also receive dugout branding, LED displays along the baselines, and in-game broadcast promotion. This is huge. And again, good for them. I know the Citi Field had their big thing this past week on food and all kinds of stuff, and they released all the beverages that they're going to be serving. Probably better craft beer than in most ballparks in New York, which is great if you can find them. You have to do a little searching. A lot of Montauk brewing, but hey, that's cool. It's better than drinking Miller Lite or Budweiser. I'm sorry, I'm just not a macro beer guy. But anyway, the Athletic Beer, I believe, is in the ballpark as well at Citi Field. But this is a multi-year deal to be branded across the stadium, which is fantastic. So kudos to Athletic Brewing. Congrats to them. That is a great partnership that I am sure will be very plentiful. Heavy Seas, small craft warning. This is their Uber Pilsner. It's a Heavy Seas classic. It returns after a long-awaited hiatus with something to prove, clocking in at 7% ABV. A Pilsner that's 7%. Drinks crisp, clean, deceptively smooth. Bold malt character meeting a snappy hop bite for a balanced, refreshing finish. Again, small craft warning. Navigate accordingly, as they say. That is now available at Heavy Seas. And then Phase 3 Brewing, this was cool. They put a post up on Instagram earlier this week. They're going to have another Pixel Pals collab. They did one last year with North Park, Trillium. Was it McKellar? I think it might have been McKellar. Or maybe it was Evil Twin. No, I think it was McKellar. I don't remember. Anyway, they did this big event. Paragon Tap and Table was the only bar in New Jersey to have the beers on tap, to have cans for purchase and a glass. I bought the cans. I got the glass. They had a whole event built around it. It was great. They're doing another collab incoming. This time, that's not the name of it, but it's incoming. This time, the collab is with Brewhouse, Misorium up in Canada, and Parish Brewing. Now, they didn't say what kind of beer it is. And say if it was an IPA, if it was a lager, if it was this, that, or this. But if you know Brewhouse, if you know Misorium, and you know Parish, I'm guessing a stout. I could be wrong. It's probably going to be an IPA. But I'm going to take a guess and say maybe it's a stout. It's May. It'll be released on May 16th. It's not quite warm weather activities yet. I mean, it is, but it isn't. And there's never a bad time for a stout. I'll be excited for this one. This is going to be kind of cool. I hope they do it again where it's an exclusive thing. Maybe Paragon gets it again. I would be very happy with that. Our friends from Dogfish Head have released their poster for Record Store Day 2026. This year's poster comes from Brooklyn illustrator and their 2026 season ales artist Dylan Goldberger's bold lines and playful, gritty meets whimsical style brings the intersection of beer and music to life. Vibrant, layered, a little mischievous, and free at participating record stores and at their coastal Delaware spots on Record Store Day, April 18th, while supplies last. Plus, this year they're dropping On a Back Porch Volume 3. It's a sun-soaked mix of hand-picked live Grateful Dead performances curated by brewer-founder Sam Calagione, his son Sammy, and archivist David Lemieux. Built for unhurried moments and easy sipping, it's the latest installment in a vinyl tradition that keeps spinning right alongside their 2 collaborative brews, Grateful Dead Juicy Pale Ale and the brand-new Grateful Dead Citrus Daydream Lager. You can snag a copy of On a Back Porch Volume 3 on Saturday, April 18th of this year at select independent record stores. Now, Sam's going to join us on the program the week, what is it? I think it's the 5th, maybe, 4th, 5th, whatever it is. He'll be on the program. They're doing an event in Brooklyn that Sam's going to be at. I will be at. This is all going to be about Grateful Dead Citrus Daydream Lager. I'm sure Juicy Pale Ale will be available too. I'm sure there's going to be another Grateful Dead cover band. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on for Record Store Day. That'll be that week. I believe it's that Thursday at Brooklyn Bowl. We'll give you all the details on what's going on there and how you can purchase tickets. I'm excited. I will be there. They asked me to come. I'm happy to do it. It's also a good excuse for me to get into Williamsburg, make a stop at the Test, kill a couple of birds with one stone. Maybe we get the guys from Test on. I would like that. We will see as the coming weeks go on. All right, couple more things here. Manskirt Brewing is doing a hard seltzer fest. Let's get physical. They've been doing it for 6 years. Main Street in Hackettstown, they're going to have 30 hard seltzer flavors. It's on Saturday, April 11th from noon to 10. Live music, a taco truck, pop-up vendors as well. Victory Beer, they have introduced Prima Light. Matching the bold balance of Prima, this lighter take keeps the same German-inspired precision, a multi-backbone, crisp floral finish from Noble Hops, coming in at 4.2%, just 110 calories. It's made for the moments that don't need much more than a cold one. It's available at Victory Tap Rooms now and at your favorite beer spot soon for the summer. Kudos to them. They just celebrated their 30th anniversary. I didn't realize that Bill was in town for the Blind Tiger 30th anniversary. Had I known, I would have gone. Sorry, Bill, that I missed you. I didn't know that you were going to be there. I definitely would have come by had I known. And finally, Trillium has released their anniversary beers. Let's run through them real quick. They did 3 massive stout releases. Vanilla Truffle, which was last released in 2019. This is a dessert-driven stout, drinking like chocolate truffle. Brownie batter, light charred marshmallow, and Madagascar vanilla. So deep vanilla, toffee, and caramel on this one. Double Danish Guy. It's a bolder, more decadent evolution of their 2019 release, Danish Guy. It's a collab with Evil Twin Brewing. Cranks up the flavors for a truly indulgent experience. Toasted almond, cinnamon, vanilla lead into, nutty pastry, soft chocolate, and caramelized sugar on the palate. And then Macaroon. They took their original 2019 Macaroon, turned it up to 11. This is a collaboration with The Veil. Big, bold, dessert-forward stout. Toasted candied coconut, soft vanilla, hints of dark chocolate, and caramel greet the senses, followed by medium sweetness balanced with light bitterness. For a limited time only, their anniversary stout bundle, all 3 stouts, $50. Bundle available online for direct shipping while supplies last. Then they're doing a bunch of anniversary, other anniversary beers. A triple IPA. It's called The Streets. This is a part of the Streets series. Blends Citra Mosaic, Nelson Sauvin, Simcoe, Eldorado, Amarillo, and Galaxy. Double dry hopped Congress Street, classic and the perfect beer for the occasion. They've amped it up here as a double dry hop. Twice daily serving raspberry. It's a fan favorite that is back. And then Rabbit the Club. It's the first double IPA in their dashboard series. Citra, a Mosaic-driven double IPA. All the anniversary beers available now at their locations and online for direct shipping. Good stuff from Trillium. And finally, without further ado, let us hear our weekly segment with Gary Monterosso on pasteurized versus unpasteurized beer.
I'm Gary Monterosso for the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast. Enjoying a beer is easy. You crack it open, take a sip, and savor. But what happens before that beer reaches your glass is actually pretty complex. One step some breweries use is pasteurization. That simply means heating the beer to stop any remaining fermentation and kill microbes that could spoil it. Years ago, this was important for safety and shelf life, but with modern sanitation and refrigeration, it's not nearly as necessary. Most people probably couldn't tell the difference anyway. In fact, many breweries usually don't list pasteurization on the label. Many craft beers today are actually unpasteurized, while large breweries may still pasteurize to extend shelf life. The thing drinkers should really focus on isn't pasteurization, it's freshness. Check the packaging date and storage conditions. In the end, those factors matter much more than whether the beer was pasteurized.
There you go. Well, thank you, Gary. Appreciate it. That's our weekly segment with Gary Monterosso. We do appreciate that. And we appreciate all of you. That's all the time we have here for the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast. My thanks to everybody involved in the show. And, of course, last but not least, the great Buddy Watson. I'm back Monday on the Joe Piscopo Show at 6 a.m. This has been the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970. The Answer. Cheers, everybody.